Hi, it's Constant Hein with tips and talks for August. And this month we're going to talk about transforming stress tool number 9, called Simplify and Eliminate Non-Essentials. So this month we're going to talk about how you can simplify in your environment, and next month we're going to talk about how you can simplify in thoughts and actions. So there's a quote by Hans Hofmann, and he says, "The ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary can speak." And I just love that. The idea is to eliminate what's not necessary so what really is necessary can speak. So we have a gift for you this month, and it's called the 10 Organizing Tips to Simplify and Calm Your Life. And the following 3 tips I'm going to give you today are actually from this gift, which will be available on our website. And one of the principles is to keep it simple. And what I mean by that in terms of keep it simple is to keep things simple doesn't mean that you have to have any sense of lack or that you need to have things so sparse you don't feel there's a beauty in the environment. But what it does mean is that every single surface or space does not need to be filled up. That's when it becomes clutter. And the other thing about keeping it simple is whatever space you have, a little principle is everything should have its own space. So if you're going to put things on a shelf or even in a closet, in a desk drawer, is to have everything have its own place is one of the ways that you help keep it simple in what you have. In my classroom when I was a teacher, I noticed a profound difference when I set materials out, when I had just a big basket with, blocks and some toys in it, versus when I put toys or activities on the shelves, each in their own container, very consciously and intentionally on the shelf where it was well labeled. I noticed that the behavior of children really calmed down. I had no idea that the environment and the visual stimulation made such a difference to the behavior of people, and particularly children. So it's one real advantage if you want to feel calm, keep your environment simple. And if you work with children, make sure their environment is simple and that the materials and your presentation of materials is conscious, intentional, and simple with space. The same way when you like to read something on a page, you don't want all the black and white words crammed in, you want a little white space. Create that same kind of white space in your environment. And another strategy is to have no excess and have no lack. In other words, you can have what you need, but don't have more than what you need. So one of the things you think about here is, I think about this oftentimes in an office. How many pencils do you really need in a jar on your desk? Do you really even need the jar on your desk? So think about how many rulers do you really need? So one of the principles here about this is to be intentional. And again, don't keep things you don't use any longer. There may have been a job you had, there may have been a role you played, or there may have been a time in your life where you were using something quite a lot. And if you're not using it and you haven't used it in about a year, let it go. So having this have no excess, have no lack also has to do with when you go shopping, don't settle. When you are going to purchase something, make sure you actually get the thing that works for you, whether it's clothing or materials or equipment, because if you don't, you'll have to purchase something again and you end up cluttering your environment, not to mention hurting your bank account. So don't settle. Get what you need, but don't get more than what you need. And the third one is use it or lose it. And this is, I just mentioned a minute ago, if you haven't used something in a year, it's a good benchmark and criteria for whether you need to keep it or not. And I think the other thing is with clothes, many of us do this with clothes as well. If it doesn't fit, don't keep it. I know many of us are hopeful we're going to lose that next 20 pounds and so we're going to keep a whole wardrobe in there. And I'm going to suggest take a note of when you look at a piece of clothing that's hanging in your closet that doesn't fit, does it make you feel calm or does it agitate you? Most people feel agitated by that. So I would suggest, if you're going to do that at all, put it away, get it out of sight, but don't have it in your environment. Or even better, let it go. Because chances are, you're not even going to be the same person who would want to wear those same clothes by the time that you lose that weight. Let yourself let go of anything that doesn't fit or that doesn't work. So this is a great opportunity to let go and to gift to people. There may be some things that you've used, they're very valuable, but you personally don't need them anymore. Maybe it's time to gift it to somebody who you know does need it. Maybe there's a new teacher, a mentor teacher, or there's a new staff person in your office and you're noticing that you haven't used something. Maybe that person would like it. But if you don't, let it go, gift it, or throw it away. So one of the things that I noticed for myself, I've been training for many, many years, and when I go to my closet where I keep my training materials, I have notebooks of training materials of topics I haven't trained in over 5 years. And I realized I had to just do a massive clean out recently, saying most of that stuff's in my computer anyways, but I just let go of all those notebooks. So one of the things you can do to clear out your environment is scan paper so you don't have to keep paper. And most of us actually have printed things in our computers. We don't need to actually keep the notebooks anymore. If you haven't, like for me, my rule of thumb is I haven't taught something in about 1.5 years, I can let it go because it's in my computer, but I don't need to keep it in my environment. So the 3 hot tips: keep it simple, have no excess, and have no lack. And number 3, use it or lose it. I hope for those are 3 helpful tips this month. And again, I remind you to go to our website to download your free copy of 10 organizing tips to calm and simplify your life. Nice talking with you this month, and we'll see you next month.